This slide presentation will assist you in the financial aid process and provide you with some preliminary information, as well as provide you with a number of resources. This process can be complex, so it will take some time on your part to investigate and discover as much information as you can prior to your senior year. It would be wise to include your parents in the quest for information. In today's job market, post-secondary education has become very important. So let's begin to understand the financial aid process, so when the time comes to take that next step into post-secondary education, you will be ready. On January 1 of your senior year, you will start the process for real. Now is the time to begin seriously gathering information. You should consider GA College 411 as your primary tool for seeking financial aid. This website devotes an entire section on financial planning to assist you and your family to make the best possible decisions regarding your post-secondary education. Remember, the more you know, the better decision you can make when the time comes. This slide represents the home page of GA College 411. The red circle indicates the financial aid planning portion of this site and will help you answer the question, how am I going to get there? If you need information on the Georgia Hope program, this is the place to find the most up-to-date information. The gold arrow to the left highlights the types of information located under the Financial Aid tab on this site. College can be made affordable. Here are 4 things you can do. Learn about financial aid. It takes knowledge to pay for college. It's a continual process. Take advantage of any free financial aid workshops or seminars your local library, high school, or local college might offer. Visit informative websites geared toward post-secondary planning and financial aid. Read free college planning information that your high school makes available in their Media Center or Career Center. Save, save, save. Even if you haven't begun to save, there's no time like the present. Also, don't be misled. Many families are led to believe that they're penalized so much for saving that they'd be better off if they didn't save at all. The bottom line is that the more money you save, the more options you'll have, the less you'll need to borrow. Remember, save, save, save. Talk to the right expert. Don't rely on any one person for the answers to all of your college planning and financial aid questions, or you may not get entirely accurate information. For instance, your questions on educational tax incentives are best handled by a tax advisor. Financial aid questions might be best addressed by the financial aid office of the college you're considering attending. Apply for financial aid. Be sure to check with each institution you're interested in about their application and filing deadlines. Don't let anyone discourage you from applying for financial aid. You can't qualify if you don't apply. What is financial aid? Simply defined, financial aid is any money given, paid, or loaned to help pay for college. Gift aid is financial aid in the form of grants and scholarships which do not need to be repaid. Self-help aid is financial aid in the form of student employment and loans. Help yourself. Work-study lets the student work to earn money to help pay for school. Loans are a type of financial aid which must be eventually repaid, usually with interest. GA College 411 has a financial aid glossary to assist with the terminology. You can find it under the Financial Aid Planning tab. There are 2 basic categories of financial aid. Need-based, which is aid based on your family's financial situation, and merit-based, which is aid determined not by financial need, but by your grades, test scores, hobbies, and/or special talents, such as artistic or athletic. Here are some common myths about financial aid, which are important to dispel. Often, these myths discourage families, and they make the costly mistake of not applying. Myth 1. Students with the highest GPAs get all of the aid. 4.0 students are not the only students who receive aid. Many scholarships and grants, such as talent scholarships or need-based grants, do not focus on GPA alone. Myth 2. Our income is too high to qualify, so why should I bother to apply? Financial aid isn't only for the poor. College costs are high enough these days that even families with higher incomes may qualify for aid. Myth 3. My sibling didn't qualify, so neither will I. Never assume that you won't qualify for financial aid. The only way to find out whether you qualify is to apply. In fact, if that sibling who didn't qualify for aid is still in school, both of you may have a chance for financial aid now. The formula the government uses to determine your eligibility gives a break to families that have more than one student attending school at least half-time. Myth 4. Attend the college that offers the most aid. Don't just look at the bottom line, the grand total of aid awarded. It's important to compare the ratio of gift aid to self-help, the potential for renewing grants and scholarships, and the amount of out-of-pocket money you will need to pay toward any outstanding balance after all awards are applied. Myth 5. Cost is the only way to compare colleges. Many students have a misguided notion that only big-name, expensive schools provide an outstanding education. It's perhaps as significant to consider a school's ability, curriculum, and contacts to prepare its graduates for the best jobs. Often, there are very few differences in the quality of education provided by Harvard or MIT and by a less well-known school. Check out all your options, and don't be misled. Sources for financial aid are available. The Federal Pell Grant and Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant are grants available through the federal government. The Federal Work-Study Program provides an opportunity for a student to earn money to help pay for school expenses. The Federal Perkins Loan, subsidized and unsubsidized Federal Stafford loans, and the Federal PLUS loans are made available to students and parents through the federal government at lower interest rates. And most campuses have individual grants, scholarships, or other student aid programs which you should investigate for possible additional aid. Students should check directly with each school to which they are applying for further information. Be sure to use any free scholarship searches to seek private sector scholarships. Most of these scholarships do not take income and/or assets into consideration. Your public library, the Internet, and more specifically the GA College 411 website are excellent sources of information on public and private sources of aid. Don't overlook local private scholarships. Often, your chances of being selected for one of these awards are much higher than they are for national scholarships. Check with your high school counselor or Chamber of Commerce. They may have a list of local scholarship opportunities listed in the Media Center or in your local school career center. GA College 411 has an excellent scholarship search that you may want to investigate. Start now and check out all the possibilities. Get your family involved in this process. The free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, is used to apply for Pell Grants, state grants including the Georgia Hope Grant and Scholarship, and other need-based aid. Colleges and universities participating in any of the federal financial aid programs will require this form. Deadlines for the FAFSA vary from school to school. Check with your selected college. There are several different ways you can file your FAFSA. You can get a paper copy of FAFSA in English or Spanish from your high school, the college you plan to attend, or the Federal Student Aid Information Center. You can apply online using FAFSA on the web at www.fafsa.ed.gov. You'll need a computer, internet access, web browser, and printer. If you don't have internet access and would like to file electronically, you can use FAFSA Express as long as your computer has a modem. Request the free software for the FAFSA Express from the Department of Education by calling 1-800-4-FED-AID. Or you can go to GA College 411, your one-stop shop for financial aid. Some schools require an institutional application in addition to the FAFSA. This form collects information not requested on the FAFSA, which helps them award non-federal student aid funds. The CSS profile is required by some higher-priced private institutions to assist them in determining your eligibility for institutional or non-federal funds. Generally, you'll have to file the profile much earlier than the FAFSA, usually in the fall of your senior year. There is a charge for the profile and a fee per school to send the results of your completed form to each school you've listed. You should have the profile sent only to those schools that require it. It is important you begin gathering your information now. Visit the on-screen website for more details. These are some application tips to make the most out of your efforts. Fail to plan, plan to fail. It's an unfortunate fact that many students lose out on aid because they failed to do one or more of the following. 1. Know the application requirements and deadlines for each school you are considering. Application requirements and deadlines can vary greatly from school to school. 2. Be accurate, complete, and legible when you fill out your financial aid applications. Use proper school codes when you list schools on your FAFSA or profile form. The FAFSA uses special Title IV code numbers to identify schools, while the CSS profile uses separate CSS school codes. Sign and date all forms. Missing or illegible application information can cause your award letter to be delayed. Worse yet, you may lose out on certain types of first-come, first-served free money. See your local school counselor for school codes. 3. Make photocopies of all forms and applications you complete. Keep a notebook or folder of all your transactions. This is important to have a record of your test scores, applications, and any other correspondence from your selected schools. Much of this information can be recorded in your GA College 411 portfolio. 4. Respond quickly to all requests for additional information. Requests may come from your school, like someone offering a scholarship. You may be asked to submit copies of your tax returns, W-2s, or FAFSA worksheets. The sooner you submit the needed items to the school, the sooner the school will be able to confirm and process your aid. 5. Pay careful attention to and meet all application deadlines. If you're applying to several different schools, be sure to meet the earliest deadline stated. Missing deadlines can be the costliest mistake you can make. If it's a postmark deadline you're trying to meet, be sure to take your form to the post office and ask for a certificate of mailing. A copy of your form and this certificate may pay off should your form become misplaced or lost in the mail. Again, see why it's important to start now. Before you pay for any type of consultant services, be aware of the following. Free assistance is available. The financial aid office of the school to which you are applying should be more than happy to assist you in understanding financial aid, its processes, and the forms needed for completion. The Department of Education has a toll-free number to help answer many of your questions and concerns at 1-800-4-FED-AID. Be aware that some consultants will encourage you to use some unethical means by which you can supposedly obtain greater financial aid. We all draw our ethical boundaries in different places. Don't leave your comfort zone, then regret your actions later on. Unfortunately, there is a practice in which consultants will encourage you to overestimate your income. They will then manipulate the numbers to make themselves look good. In reality, you're not getting anything more than you might have if you had reported the correct information originally. Don't be scammed. Remember, most students and their families get through this process without the help of a consultant and do very well. Earlier on, we talked about financial aid myths. This is the granddaddy of them all, billions of dollars unclaimed. I'm sure you're familiar with the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Scholarship search companies would love for you to think that large amounts of financial aid go unclaimed each year. Unfortunately, these companies prey on the anxieties of students and parents who are scrambling for additional financial resources by charging them significant sums of money. Here are some characteristics of a possible scam. Money-back guarantees or promises. Many students have experienced great difficulty and frustration in trying to get companies to make good on their commitments. What was that old saying again? An invitation to attend a free seminar on financial aid. We highly encourage you to attend informational sessions on financial aid, but these companies use time pressure to get you to sign up for their services. These companies are out there to get your money. Be very careful. 1-900 telephone numbers. Some companies require you to call a 1-900 number that charges you by the minute to listen to their message. As a rule, if you must pay money to get money, it most likely is a scam. No presentation on financial aid in Georgia would be complete without information about the Georgia HOPE program. This program has helped to fund numerous Georgia students with their post-secondary education. The HOPE program is funded by the Georgia Lottery and is subject to change by the Georgia State Legislature. Be sure to go to the GA College 411 website for the latest information on the HOPE program. This slide and the next series of slides will give you a brief overview of the program. The following are the criteria for scholarships at public colleges and universities for the class of 2010 and 2011. College Preparatory Diploma. Cumulative GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in core coursework. Technical Career Diploma. A cumulative GPA of 3.2 on a 4.0 scale in core coursework. For the class of 2012 and beyond, a cumulative GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in core academic credits attempted. At public colleges, the HOPE Scholarship provides full tuition, approved mandatory fees such as health and student activity fees, and a $300 per academic year book allowance. Room and board expenses are not covered. These are the criteria for HOPE scholarships at private colleges and universities in Georgia. For the class of 2010 and 2011, students receiving a college preparatory diploma will need a cumulative GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in core coursework. Students receiving a technical career diploma will need a cumulative GPA of 3.2 on a 4.0 scale in core coursework. For the class of 2012 and beyond, students will need a cumulative GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in academic credits attempted. At private colleges, the HOPE Scholarship provides $3,500 per academic year. Plus, students can qualify for the Georgia Tuition Equalization Grant of $950 per academic year, for a total of $4,450 per academic year at private colleges. All students deemed eligible for Georgia residency are immediately eligible for the HOPE Grant, a separate program from the HOPE Scholarship, in non-degree programs of study, certificate and diploma, at public institutions. All residency decisions are made by the post-secondary institution to which you are applying. The HOPE Grant provides full tuition, approved mandatory fees, and a $300 per academic year book allowance at public institutions. There is no specific grade requirement to receive the HOPE Grant for non-degree study, but students are encouraged to perform their best, especially if they later decide to also seek their first undergraduate degree and earn the HOPE Scholarship. And remember, grants and scholarships do not have to be repaid. Education is one of the best financial investments you can make. A bachelor's degree yields an increase in lifetime earning potential of nearly $500,000, according to Census Bureau data. This is equivalent to a 20% annual return on investment. The facts prove it. The more education and training one can get, the more income potential one has. Remember, the quest for financial aid is a continual one. I encourage you to learn more, save as much as you can, and most importantly, when the time comes, apply for financial aid.